Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Make New Marketing Podcast. I'm Mia, and this is Grace. And every single week, we have cozy marketing chats all about how we can make marketing new through being more meaningful, more bite sized. So we actually show up and do it and don't, try to hustle too hard and take on too much and burn out,
Um,
and how we can just make it more connection driven and make it more like make social media marketing and all of it more like a personal diary. We just did an episode about that. So if you haven't watched that one yet, you should definitely go watch it. But that's going to be, I think, our new motto for a while is like, this is our personal diary or our
yeah,
personal business diary. That is what our marketing, our social media is. Your story is the strategy. It's just getting it out there in a way that you'll show up and do it. That's
yep,
doable and not over the top and in a way that connects with people. And how do we connect with people?
yes.
So today, our chat is going to be all about I started my business, now what? And
Ooh, yeah.
this we get at like asked so often, but it really hit home because recently we got to work with a business
Mhm.
that just started. And I mean, like, there was one post up when we
Yes,
started working with them on their social media. They hadn't even like launched their website yet. And it's always so cool when we get to do something like that. Like when you get to do something from the conception, it's always fun getting to work
yeah.
with people and cool. I say always fun. Maybe not always fun. It's life.
It's stressful
Sometimes
though.
maybe it's not as fun. Most
Yeah,
of the time, it's very fun to get to work with people and everything. But there is something very special about when you get to work with someone from the conception of something. There's something just extra special about that. And you get to see like a business start to form where there was literally nothing. And I love that. And so this is still a great episode if you have a business and you've already started it and been going for a while. There's still some great info you can get from this, but we are just going to go through if you've just started a business, what are the things you should be doing? Because this is very fresh on our minds. Because with this client, we've been talking a lot about this. And it can be so overwhelming because there are so many things that you can do. But what are actually the things that are going to move the needle, get your business going? Like, what are things that you might jump on too early, too prematurely? Um, because you have so many people out there telling you, you need to do this. Because guess what?
right.
They get to make money off of you when you do this, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so the first thing we had them do was, of course, start a social media account. And disclaimer, yes, we do run people's social media accounts, but it just is whether we were or not, that would be like the first thing that I would recommend to anybody because it's free and it's going to be the cheapest and, most just efficient way to get yourself out there in front of more people.
Yep.
It also is going to up your legitimacy. If you are a brand these days and you do not have a social media account, I just personally, and I know this is the same for many other people, I do not
Mhm.
trust you as
No.
much. Why don't you have a social what are you trying to hide? Why don't
Right,
you have a
right.
social media account? And so a lot of people are going to think that way. So get a social media account going. We always recommend when you do this that you pick one or two accounts that you are actually going to be posting on. We call it like a hero account. And you're going to get really good at posting on that first. You're not going to stretch yourself across a bazillion things because then you're just going to do all of them. Eh.
Mhm.
And you can or you can get really good at one
At one.
or two maybe and cross post. And then later on, add in more
Expand.
as you have more manpower, you've got a routine on the other one, all of the things like that. If you do want to add on a couple, you can, but just don't try to post different things on all
No.
of them, like cross post across them.
As a new business owner, you're already wearing so many hats, and we know this from experience. So don't make your life harder than it has to be.
No.
Like you don't need to run 4 or 5 social media accounts right out the gate. Like make it easier on yourself and
Hmm.
just do the one and get your, feet under you and then you can figure out how to expand from there.
Yeah, you can always grow more, but if you try to overwhelm yourself, you're just not going to do any of
It's not
them, or you're
gonna
going to
work.
do all of them, like we said,
No.
where it's like, and then really you're not really you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm getting more exposure because I'm posting on all these different platforms. But if you're not really trying to get good at one of them, because they
Right.
are all a little different, in some ways, then yeah, you're not really getting more exposure. You're sacrificing all this exposure you could learn how to get on a hero platform on one that you get really good at versus just spreading yourself. So the one thing that we do recommend to do is go through any social media platform that you think you could ever use for any reason and go ahead and reserve your username. Because what's going to happen is what you're going to start on Instagram and you're going to be like, I'm not going to start on TikTok yet. And then 3 years down the road, you're going to want to maybe add on TikTok and then your username is going to be taken. So go ahead and reserve your username in all the places so that way it's there for you and
Yeah.
ready.
It costs you nothing and it'll
Yeah,
save you in the long run.
just a little time to go do it. And so, definitely on all the main ones, but just think of any that you could possibly need that you might possibly use. Obviously, the big ones: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, maybe LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a bit different, obviously, of a platform, but yeah, those would be like the big ones. Threads, like just those, any of those that you're like, oh, maybe one day I would use these. Now, depending on the type of business you are, right up there with social media would be a website or some way to sell your stuff. So, some people we work with, that might be on Etsy for now or forever. Like some people, that might be their platform of choice.
Mhm.
For other people, it might be getting a Shopify store going. If you are a heavy product based business, then Shopify is probably going to be one of the best ones you can do. Yes, it might
Agreed.
cost a little more, but in the long run, you're going to have, I mean, any tool that you
Yep.
need
It's
pretty
very
much.
robust. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good
And
choice.
it is, for compared to others, it's user friendly, I would say. When it comes to like, okay, how do I get these products uploaded and everything? I'm not saying it's winning an award for being user friendly, but I compared to a lot of other things, I think it can be user
Yeah,
friendly.
for sure.
And you have themes and stuff you can use, and they have like pages where you can hire experts to come in and help you. And there's just a lot of resources available to you if you use Shopify, but obviously use what fits best for you. We don't use Shopify because our business doesn't make sense to. We're not selling a lot of products. So we have Show It, and then we have Thrive Cart for any kind of like products we might be selling. But that is also an option if you're someone that maybe is just selling a few products. You could totally do something like that, something like Show It, where it has a bit more. You can customize it a bit more. It might be a bit cheaper than Shopify, and then you could do something like Thrive Cart, where you pay one cost, like one fee, and then you have that checkout service for life,
For sure.
which
For
is nice.
sure.
Anyways, that's what it did for us. I don't know if that deal's still going. When it goes beyond that, those are the two big things. And you could totally do those two things and you've got a business. Like you have a way to sell and you have a way to market, and you could totally sell a lot of stuff that way. The other two big ones, three big ones, I guess you could say, is one, email, of course. And yeah, Grace can say a little bit more about like what you're going to want to do with email, because it's easy for us to say, oh, go start your email. Okay, but like,
Right.
what do you mean start my email? Like, what do I need to do?
Yeah. Well, people are always hesitant on the email front because they think, well, I just started my business. Like, I don't even know if anybody's even interested in my business yet. Like, I certainly don't have the time to be thinking about what to put in a newsletter right now. And they start to spiral about it. But what
Mhm,
Mia and I will always tell you is that it's smart to just go ahead and set up an account with an email platform and start your newsletter list.
mhm.
Why? Because you own your email list. You don't own your social media followers. So, in the event that something went terribly wrong and you got, let's say, hacked or something, and we've known people who this has happened to, um, you don't have any way to contact your people, the people that have already said yes to your brand, the people that, want to see you show up in their feeds. Like, without an email list, there's not a good way to reach those people. So, it's important just to start as you start your business. You can start small and you don't even have to worry about sending any newsletters yet. You just need to grow your list. And we've worked with several different email platforms. There's pros and cons to all of them. And if you guys are like overwhelmed and curious about that, we can do an episode on email
Yeah.
platforms and let you know our recommendations and kind of what we steer people towards. But it's important just to start somewhere, even if you pick a free one.
Mhm.
Just, build your list, start posting about it in your stories on social media and pointing people towards it, and offer a promotion maybe in the beginning. That's always helpful. Like, a 10% off coupon to shop if you're a product based brand, or if you're not a product based brand, then something else that's going to bring value to your customers that you can afford to give them for free. Um, and that can just be set up in the simplest welcome flow of all time. You don't really have to know anything about email or what you're doing to set up some really simple and effective systems and get that list growing.
Yes, agreed. And to what you were saying about like people thinking, well, I don't want to do an email list. You don't have to start sending the emails either. I think that's
Right.
like you don't have to, again, like Grace said, just start collecting subscribers. So that way
Yeah.
you can contact them. And that way, when you're ready,
They're
you
there.
can start sending emails and you've got an audience in there ready to receive these emails, and you are able to offer them something, to hopefully encourage them to shop or stick around or whatever. And so make sure, yeah, to do that. Like when we started this client, I think within like a week and a half, maybe, of launching their email list, they already had like 30 subscribers or
Yeah.
something like that. So people will be like, oh, nobody's following me yet. No one's doing this yet. So, like,
Mhm.
why do it? They literally were nothing.
Yep.
This business just popped up. And then, like, a week and a half of launching their email list, they've already got 30 subscribers. That's huge.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
so,
those are warm leads that are
yeah,
valuable, and it's exciting too. Like, I remember when we started, um, every new subscriber that we would get notified via email, and we
yeah.
would just, like, have, like, a little mini
Like,
celebration,
oh
like,
my
"Oh my gosh,
gosh.
wait, somebody cares?
Yeah.
Somebody saw us and they care and they followed through." Like, it's I don't know, it's an important and special thing.
I'll see so often people will be like, I don't want to ask people to join my email list. Oh, please, I'm not going to like spam you.
Yeah, the flat
You're
open
not
hand.
forcing them. Like, you're not, you know, you're not like, do this or else kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
Like, they have
You're
the
letting
choice.
them know.
You're just like sharing what you're offering. They have the choice whether to do it, or
Yeah,
not. Like, you're not
and it's
forcing them.
gonna
If they sign up, they want to be a part of
yes,
it for one reason or another. And so when you go to set that up, you're going to need a link, like some kind of, a lot of them have where you can create a landing page and stuff. So you're going to need some kind of link to include so they can sign up. So you can link it to your stories or link it to your Instagram bio, whatever. You're going to need maybe a pop up on your website. Again, you can easily set that up within the email platforms. And then you might want to think about like a welcome series that you set up. Super simple. If you're offering a freebie, a discount, that'll need to go in the welcome series. And yeah, then other than that, you might look at maybe setting up some automations over time or whatever. But really, in the bare bones of it, turn on your pop up on your site, create your sign up link, create your welcome series, come up with some kind of benefit for them joining, whatever that may be, and include that in your welcome series. You've got an email list. When you're ready, you can start sending them. Otherwise, you can just start inviting people to it with the benefit that you have of joining it.
for
Like,
sure.
and you're good to go. But that's definitely a big one. Another one is making sure your links are readily available. That was a big one that I was thinking of recently that like people don't think about, make sure that one, how you want to organize all your links. We love Linktree because it's free. You can get a paid version if you want, but it's free. You can brand it to yourself and then you can just have all your links live in that place. So anytime you put your link tree, they've got the links to everything, to your other social media channels, to your website, to your email list, any other thing you have going on. People have the links to it. And so, yeah, Linktree's great. Slap all your links on there, but just remember to put your links in your bios, definitely, and to not be afraid of using those links and pointing
Right.
people to them in your stories and stuff like that. But yeah, make sure you have those readily available and you have them all worked out. Another
Good point.
benefit to Linktree is sometimes it's overwhelming when you come into a big website and you're like, oh, but when you have a link tree and you got maybe four tops, five links on there, you're kind of guiding them to where they
Yep.
might want to go. Make sure that one to shop is, or whatever
Prominent.
one you're trying to really heavily highlights at the top, front and center. But other than that, it kind of makes it a little less overwhelming and gets people to the main places they
Mhm.
want to go.
For sure.
So, and you can highlight, like in Linktree, you can also schedule certain links to come on at certain times. And
Mhm.
it's really helpful with stuff like that. The other thing is in partnerships, maybe not an ambassador program right off. That's something we talked to this business about is we were like, you know, should you pay someone like us to like do you an ambassador program? Probably not at the stage you're at right now. To be honest, I don't think that's a wise investment.
Yeah.
Yes, we would make more money if you did that. I'm not going to tell you to do that though, because like I
Right.
just don't think that's a wise
Give it a
investment right
minute.
now for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so, but I was like, I do think a wise investment is start reaching out to people and sending out some free product and getting
Yeah.
that in people's hands, whether it's just free product, you're paying them to post, like whatever that is, that's between you and the influencer and the agreement there. But just reaching out to people, having like a set message that you can send people, send it in messages, send it in email, because that is going to make sure you get a hold of them because some don't check their email,
Sure.
some don't check their DMs. And yeah, just go make yourself a big list and then start sending out messages. You are going to get so many no's. So
Yeah,
many no answers.
I'm there
Volume
for
is
it.
the key.
You're
Volume
not
is
doing anything wrong. That's just, like, by nature of, like, the numbers. It's a
yeah.
numbers game.
They might not see it, they might not be interested. It is a numbers game. I was watching, Grace Andrews talk about getting started with, Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO podcast, which is huge, and when they very first started, she was like, "We would literally send out between all of us, like, 1,000 messages a week for guests." She said, "I'm not exaggerating." She said, "Because we would have such a hard time at first getting guests, but we knew if we could get enough volume out there, we would at least get one yes. Like somebody out of all those messages is going to say yes." And I believe it really is the same when it comes to partnerships, influencers, people you're trying to, get help from to get your business and product out
Mhm.
there when it's brand new, especially. And I'm not saying you need to send 1,000 messages a week,
Right, right.
but put yourself out there. Like if you're maybe make a goal to send 10 or 20 messages a week.
Yeah.
There's a Facebook creator marketplace that can be helpful with that, where it can help you search or just scroll through Instagram, TikTok,
And there
whatever it
will
is.
be people that say yes to free product or
Yes.
a new opportunity. There's a lot of people that want to be a part of a startup business, and
Yeah.
so once you get a few yeses under your belt, it'll feel less daunting, but it is a great option for exposure and getting your
Yes.
name out there.
And don't shy away from the ones that don't have huge followings. That was a big
True,
thing too. Like huge followings do not always equal more exposure and sales for you. It sometimes it's actually quite the opposite because
true.
these smaller followings have a lot more trust with their community sometimes. Not always, but so
We've
that's
seen
one.
it, yeah.
And then the last thing is, should I be running ads? And here's the thing about ads, because this is the thing where everyone right away is like, ads.
People ask this all the time. Yeah.
Do you have to start running ads right away? No. We have worked with plenty of businesses that for years have not done paid advertisement. They've done fine, like
Yep.
grown very large in that time. And so, no, you don't have to. Now, what is the benefit of ads? You're going to get in front of people more times. And this is what we were talking to our client about. These days, especially, you need to be exposing yourself to someone probably like 3, 4, 5 times before someone's probably taking the plunge.
Mhm.
Think of it right now like when you buy something. Usually you might stumble across a social media post, right? Then you might see an influencer promoting it. Then you might see an ad. And then eventually you start thinking, I'm seeing this all over the place. I need to just get it. Or you
Sure.
start to feel that trust. The more someone is exposed to you, the more trust normally that is going to be built,
Mhm.
and the more interest in the product. You're going to take them through different stages of curiosity about your business and product, blah, de, da. And that's why influencers, ambassadors, those kinds of partnerships are so great as well, because that's another touch point that someone can be exposed to you, especially if you are getting some of those influencers and ambassadors, people who are in your target community might see often. So that's the thing with ads. You are, because you are paying to get in front of these people more, you are going to be in front of them more. And so yes, they are maybe going to be more likely to buy. Also, depending on the type of ad campaign you do, Facebook is going to really target the people who are interested in buying, like impulse shoppers. It knows so much about those things.
True.
And so, yeah, it is. It's just going to get you in front of more people. And yes, in the case of if you're targeting new people, it's going to get
Mhm.
you in front of new eyes more. And then hopefully that's going to be their first interaction with you. And then maybe they might see a social media post. But
Well,
it's
you're
just
right.
going to take people in this like playground of all the different ways
The
they can like
journey.
be connected with you.
Right. Well, but caveat, don't do this instead of posting on your socials,
No.
right? Like, and probably wait until you have a handful of posts on
Hmm.
your page. Like, there's nothing worse than, again, a brand that doesn't really have a social presence yet, but they're
And they're
working
just running
really
ads.
hard to convince you to spend your money with them. I would much rather like find your page either organically or through ads and then be able to scroll and
Hmm.
gain all this intel on you and see that you're legitimate before I'm ready to purchase anyway. So don't put the cart before the horse and invest all your money into
Yeah.
advertising if you're not also fortifying your online presence. I think that's
Agreed.
important.
100%, because you're honestly probably going to hurt your credibility more if
True.
somebody clicks on an ad, because a lot of the time, what do you do when you see an ad? The first thing
Yeah.
I go do is see if they have a social media account.
Yeah.
And if I go see that they don't, or their social media account's got 2 posts on it, I'm like, "Hmm,
There's a lot of scam accounts that run ads. Like, just
yeah."
look at TikTok, dude. Like, that happens all the time. Someone's stealing somebody else's content, running it as an ad. Like, in this day and age, I think it's more important to, again, fortify that presence and then worry about your ads, and Again, will it help you? Yeah, probably, but it's not. I think people come to us a lot of the time and they're just like, I guess this has to be the first thing that I do because I don't have any
Yeah.
followers and I don't know how to grow my business. It's brand new, but it's like, give it a minute. Organic growth is usually free other than the
Yeah.
investment of your time. Like if you're posting your own socials and everything. So maybe give that a good shot before you like end up having all this extra work on your plate, you know?
Yeah, totally agree. And if you do start out with ads, maybe start out with retargeting ones,
Yep.
because then you can, whoever's watching your videos on your email list, like whatever, over time, you can retarget them, which what I was saying, that's going to give you that other hit of exposure to these
Yep.
people and stay in front of them. But yes, you can also run ads that are targeting new people. And, depending on your business, ads versus boosted posts, ads can be a lot more customizable. Those are going to go to Facebook, Instagram. You can run them multiple different places. There's just a lot more you can do with those. But yeah, if you're intimidated by that, you could do a boosted post. People have big opinions on those, whether they're a waste of money, not a waste of money. We've seen them be valuable to clients. And so I don't think they're a waste of money. I think it depends on the goals that you have.
For sure.
And each thing is going to, yeah, either
Yeah.
support those goals or not support those goals,
Right.
you know?
Every
But yeah,
business is different. Yeah.
and it's
For
the
sure.
same with if you decide to do ads or not, but we would definitely prioritize the other things first,
Yeah.
and then you can bring the ads in.
Then
And that doesn't mean you have to
dabble.
wait forever. That could mean you spend a month or 2 prioritizing the other things and then you bring ads in.
Right.
But just don't make that like your
Not
top
your top
top
priority.
priority.
And start small. You can always, you can always add on more, but start small, like dip a toe in. You don't have to have it all figured out as soon as you start your business. And I hope that that's encouraging to you guys because we certainly didn't know. Even having
Yeah.
helped a business grow before from basically the ground up, there was still a lot when it came
Yeah.
to running our own business that we had to figure out as we went. And, now we're a couple years into this and we're doing okay. So I hope that that's encouraging to you guys that you can take it one bite at a time and just continue to show up consistently, and you might be really surprised about how much you can
Yeah.
grow your business in a short period of time.
And it's all simple steps. It doesn't have to, it will feel like a lot to do maybe at first. Your to-do list is going to feel long, but it's really at the end of the day pretty simple.
Yeah,
And, and if you're someone who struggles with like, okay, well, with the social media part, what do I start posting? Stay tuned with our content, look at some of our videos, find a system somewhere, whether it's ours or someone else's that helps you kind of bring those and organize them into a posting plan, and stay tuned because we will be releasing a class at some point that helps you with that as well. And we also do coaching calls and stuff like that. But like whatever it is, just start getting yourself out there, plan or not. But if you are someone that's like, I want some kind of structure, there are things out there that can help you with that too, that aren't going to cost you like thousands and thousands of dollars of someone doing it all for you, where you can get a plan that you can then execute too.
for sure.
And then, if you are someone that has the means to, sure, hire someone to manage your socials for you. Like, but that's not something you have to do at first. But if you have the means to, and that's really going to help you, then yeah, that probably is going to help grow those a bit quicker and take some stuff off your plate
For
to,
sure.
or if it's running your emails or running your ads, like whatever it is, but whatever it is that if you have the means to that you would like taken off your plate, then sure, do it, but just don't panic jump into
Yes.
anything. That's
Agreed.
the big thing. Be mindful about it because there's no
Intentional.
magic pill or anything like that. It is going to take time. It is maybe going to feel slow at first. Everyone is. You're
But you
not,
have what it
yeah,
takes.
you're
Yes, you
not
do.
like experiencing anything different to anyone else. But yeah, we're over here cheering you on, and stay tuned because we have chats like this every single Friday,
Yeah.
and we will talk to y'all soon. We hope this is helpful. And if you're just starting a business, good luck. You've got
Good
this.
luck. We've got you. Bye, y'all.